What another beautiful day around here. Honestly, it has been magnificent. The weather has been lovely for the past couple of weeks, and I've been looking at the forecast, and again, next couple of weeks ahead, things are looking good. So we are taking a little bit of a gamble, I think, going forward. So we brought very much on the theme of the last couple of videos. I've got a bit of a queue. So I've got a sort of a queue backed up in the greenhouse of plants and things and all sorts of stuff waiting to be planted out. And I've got space and I need to fill the space. So I'm getting on with that today. We've got stuff inside the polytunnel. We've got stuff outside the polytunnel. We've got the safe stuff, the stuff that will survive, no problems. And we've got our temperature gauge in the polytunnel so we can have a little look at just how cold it's actually gotten there over the past few nights, because during the day it is roasting. I mean, I've come up here nice and early today. Today, it's around about 9:30, I think it is, when I've started filming. Already it's 35 degrees in there. It is boiling hot, but not to worry. Overnight though, we're seeing some big dips, and that is the problem. So is the gamble going to pay off? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to have a wee try, give it a shot. We'll see if it works, or we'll see if it doesn't. But anyway, speaking of which, let me get on with things. Let me just get a few things prepared, a few things tidied up, ready to go, and we'll get some stuff planned out. So, first of the outside jobs, getting done. I'm a bit foofed. I've been in the polytunnel for a while, and honestly, I only last about 20 minutes in there at the moment before I've got to come outside and take a break. It is roasting in there, but once I've got a bit of a break out here, we'll get the outside jobs done. I'll show you what I've been up to in there. I've been doing some more stuff and getting some things set up in there. But the peas, I need to get the peas out. We've got loads of peas, and I'll show you the two different types that are going to go in sort of this trench. We've just got a big long trench dug down here. We've chucked a load of fish blood and bone in there, bit of fresh compost along the top of it. Jobs are good. Now these peas here, let me show you these. These were the ones we got from the garden centre. If you saw the garden centre video a couple of weeks ago, we picked up some peas. These were like the backup peas to the peas that I didn't know if they were doing too well or not. And I've actually managed to fry them a little bit inside the polytunnel. So that's a good job. So the backup plants maybe aren't the best backups anymore, but it's dead simple, this bit. We've just got one of these A-frames. It's got paracord sort of strung across it. Put the peas in the trench where the nutrition is. All the stuff I've dug out the trench is just gonna get pushed back in there, and I will towards it. You know, I'll tidy it up properly because it's all on the path and stuff like that. Well, but like, it's dead simple. I struggled with peas, you know what, for years. For probably the first 3 or 4 years I was here, I couldn't grow peas for love and money. And then Ian from Grown Local gave me some magic pea seeds, and I've never looked back since. They've been marvellous. Now the variety, I haven't got the plastic tub, and it's in the polytunnel in the bin in there. I don't know what variety they are. It says on the tub, green peas. So there's not much to it. And these strings, they will eventually go tendrils, and they'll just cling onto these bits of string or the whip here, and they will be smashing. Now the other peas, let me just shuffle along here a little bit and show you what we've got here. Now these are the ones I've grown in the greenhouse, and I must admit they are looking brilliant. And these are a variety called, excuse me for a moment, Blauschocker, Chocker, something like that. I can never pronounce it. I don't know how you pronounce it, but they are looking beautiful, lovely, big plants, which, as you can see, they've been in the greenhouse. Want to get them out of the greenhouse, and it's exactly the same over this side. We're just going to put them all the way along this trench. Those little tendrils that come off the peas, it'll eventually, they'll cling onto the paracord in here, and hopefully we'll get a nice big sort of wall of peas all the way along there. And I was so honestly, I'm desperate to get these out of the greenhouse and into the ground, because I want to get more peas sown. So I've got a second sown. We'll get a second sown done. So when these are done, we've got a second crop that'll come out. Hopefully we'll catch 2 crops of peas this year, in theory. Maybe if it works. If not, I've got some spare space back there, a little bit further back, where we put them if it doesn't quite go according to plan. So I've made a right mess down here. I thought I'd plan it out quite nicely, and I've not. All I've managed to do is just make a bit of a mess. So we'll just take all that out of there and we'll do it the easy way. And sometimes the only problem here is that because they've grown quite big and long, that some of the tendrils, some of the plants like cling to each other, which is just a bit awkward for getting them out of the root drainers. But they're not too bad, actually. But I will continue this process of putting these peas in all the way along here. And like I say, hopefully we'll have a big long wall of peas at some point. I'll finish that off. I'll get this tidy up. We'll get it all looking all nice and lovely, neat and tidy for you in theory. And the other thing, I don't normally show it on camera, but you know what? I think it goes without saying, pretty much everything I grow around here, and I don't show it on camera very often, gets watered in. Every plant, every single plant, if I don't show you it, take it for granted, it gets watered in. And again, at the end, the peas all the way along here, they'll all get watered in, and the other plants that I'm going to show you today that are going out in different places, they all get watered in. Well, this here is my other safe bet for now, till we get into the more controversial gambling side of today's video. But we'll pop these out. I've put some of these up there actually at the other end of the plot, but I thought this was quite a nice little bit just to show you about filling in bits of space that you might have. So I've got 4 shallots left here that I didn't really know where I was going to put them, but this bed here, we've got the sweet peas in the middle, obelisk going up, lovely jubbly, but we've got all this space here and all the space around there, and I thought, you know what would be perfect if I have 2 here and 2 there, and it'd be just the job. And it's absolutely perfect for just filling in gaps around and about the plot when you've got little things left over. Like I've always got like loads of lettuces and stuff like that left over, and they're great for just plugging up little gaps. Lettuces, radishes as well, things like that. So if you've got little gaps like this just hanging about in beds, have a think about what you might just be able to squeeze in. You know, you never know. I've been terrible in the past for squeezing too much in, I think, in places, and I've tried certainly over the last couple of years to probably give things a little bit more space, but there's too much space here. There's loads of space here, and I must admit, planting out today the shallots and the peas, I was a little bit worried. You can probably just about see them. These lettuces in this bed here got absolutely terrorized by a rabbit that I think was getting in, and I've checked the perimeter fence all the way around here, all the way around. Could I find a hole of that for it getting in? And do you know what I think it's been? You see the other side of this white bed, so where the strawberry bed is there and this white bed here, behind there, this plot, my plot neighbour Charlie, he's just given up his plot this year, and there was a hole in the fence there, and I noticed the leeks. He's got a couple of leeks left in the plot, and they'd been munched. So I think the rabbit's been in there, and it's got through this bit of fence here and into here. So I had 2 bags of sand, and I've just put them in front of the hole, these big bags of sand in front of the hole over there. And these lettuces are a bit of a measure, because I've not dug them up. I should probably dig them up and put other ones in and use the space, but I haven't. And there's a reason for that, because I want to see them grown back. And if they grow back, I know the rabbits aren't getting in, because they would just come in and munch and munch and munch until they were gone, until they were totally gone. But as you can see, especially this one, they're coming back. So I'm pretty confident that for now, touch wood, for now, the rabbits aren't getting in. So I'm going to put these 2 over there, then we're going to go down that end of the plot, we're going to roll the dice, and we're going to do a bit of gambling. And this here is where we're taking just a little bit of a gamble. Maybe it's a big little bit. You can see, we've mentioned, it is beautiful, it is lovely, but those overnight temperatures, little bit dodgy. But let me give you Exhibit A. And this is a beautiful Jaguar courgette plant that was given to me on my Mick, delivered them, marvellous. It's too big, it's flowering, it's even got little courgettes on it. It's absolutely desperate for more space, more nutrients. I don't want to be potting things on at this time of year, so we're taking a bit of a gamble and we're planting it out. So we have to hope that these overnight temperatures stay okay over the next couple of weeks, I think, at least, because once we're into late May, start of June, I think we're home and dry. And it's a little bit of a gamble, but you know what? I've got some spares. I've got some just in cases. So if it doesn't quite work out, and this is where I did the courgettes last year. So I did courgettes in here, and I'll bring you over. You maybe can't quite see too well with the angle at the moment, but we've topped this bed up. Look at this bed, this big metal raised bed. I love it. I love the way it looks. I love the shape of it. I love that it sits outside the polytunnel. It looks marvellous when it's fully planted up. It looks brilliant. And we had the courgettes in here last year. We had 4 plants, 1, 2, 3, 4, sort of each corner. We had some leeks in the middle over there. We had some nasturtiums. There's one over there that's self-seeded, filled in all the gaps, and it looked beautiful. All planted up, all lovely jubbly. It was great. So we're going to do pretty much the same this year. If it's not broke, why fix it? So we're trying the same again this year. So we're going to put, just for now, we're only putting 2 courgettes out for now. So the early adopters, the brave couple that are going out. So I'm putting 1 here. I'm going to duplicate that over there, and we'll get that planted out. What does happen though is I've noticed the compost sinks in this bed really quite badly every single year. I've just been gone round and topped it up, so we've got some fresh compost in here. So not only have we raised the level, we've also given it lots of nutrition, because these cucumbers, these courgettes can be a bit hungry, and we've got some of the old fish blood and bone in the hole there as well, and they'll get liquid feed throughout the year to keep them going all the way through. So on to the next one. I will go over there and I will duplicate, and the idea is we will sort of have a mirror image of each other. So if we split the bed down the middle, courgette, nasturtiums, courgettes, courgette, nasturtiums, courgette, leeks in the middle, and hopefully it'll look blooming marvellous. So gamble number 1 outside the polytunnel underway. Gamble number 2 requires us to go inside the polytunnel. And no, it's not a rather pale looking ginger haired, well, when I used to have hair, fella going into a polytunnel that's currently 45 degrees in the sunshine, although that is a bit of a gamble, isn't it? So I've got my hat on. By the way, if you see dirty marks on my hat, the reason is, yet again, I have banged my head any number of blowing times off the hanging baskets that the strawberries are in inside the polytunnel. The best one being literally 2 minutes ago, right? I came in here, hit the one at the end with my head, ducked underneath it, and because I've watered them and I've hit it and it's been swinging, the water then dripped all over my back. So nice muddy hanging basket water dripping all the way down my back. So the prediction, yet again, as I mentioned, I think it was at the last video I mentioned it, of complaining about the hanging baskets is very much coming to fruition. Anyway, enough complaining. I think the best thing to do in here, because I've already done it, I've been busy pottering about here. Like I say, it's so hot in here at the moment. It's 48 degrees before, it's 44 and a half, looking at a little temperature gauge at the back. So I've been busy, I've been in and out, and I've just been doing it off camera. But whatever I've done here, I've still got loads to do in here. I've still got cucumbers, aubergines, more chilies, peppers and stuff like that to go out, and I will show you that when I come back to do them. Maybe it's at the weekend. I was thinking actually the weekend, right, Sunday. There's so much going on around here at the moment. I might do a plot tour. I might have a bit of a scout about, and we'll show you everything, because there's so much changing, so much happening at this time of year. We might show you what's going on. But let me spin you around. Let's have a look at what the inside gamble is looking like. So we've got our tomatoes here in the quad grows. That was a little bit of a gamble in it. You know about them. We did them in the last video. The only change here is in this back, let me show you this back left one here. I've changed the tomato. Now a couple of people mentioned in the comments, I put the Heinz tomato in there, and a couple of people mentioned that it's a really, really bushy tomato. So I've taken it out and I've moved it over the other side, and we've replaced it with I think it's a Marvel stripe that's gone in there to replace it. So thank you very much to the people that mentioned that in the comments. I always really appreciate helpful things like that when they're told, because it could have saved me a whole lot of trouble. The quad grows are a lot closer together than the halo pots that I use, and I'll show you the other side in a minute. But gamble number 1, here we go. Look at this. We have got some peppers out. These are all sweet peppers in this corner. The 2 at the front are King of the North. One of the ones at the back is a Toro Rosso, and the one at the back left is just called sweet pepper. That's all it's called. I do have one empty pot down here. I'll bring another one up and put it in there. So it's a bit of a gamble putting the peppers out, the sweet peppers going out. It is a little bit of it, more so than the tomatoes, but even more so. Let's come back here. You can see here, so I've put some more tomatoes out actually on the way past. There's the hinds there. This is the hinds here, right at the very front. And we've got some other ones back there. So we'll do, actually, like I mentioned last time, as the season goes on, it'll be really interesting to see how the halo pots compared to the quad grows over here as we go on. What's better, what's more productive, what's easier to manage. So a bit of a good comparison here, sort of side to side. What's going on? Back corner. We've got 2 chili plants. The one at the very back is a jalapeno. The one at the front is a bird's eye. I've put them in the red halos just to show that they're chilies. I don't really have the red halos for that. The red halos, green halos. When I bought them, it was whatever was cheapest on offer. And here's something to show you. Let me show you this. Let me show you. Look, we've already got one cheeky little chili on the bird's eye. So there it is. Hopefully it'll last. Hopefully it'll survive. The plant's a wee bit small. It'll settle. It'll grow. But last week we were down to 1.9 degrees centigrade in here. So it's a bit of a gamble. The tomatoes will suck it up. They'll be fine. They're tough as old boots. The peppers, I'm a little bit worried. The chilies, the sweet peppers, it's a bit of a gamble. Will it pay off? Why not like and subscribe and you'll find out. So there we go. We've got some safe bets. We've got the peas. We've got the shallots that were put out. We've got some gambling going on with a couple of chilies and some sweet peppers. But isn't that, for me, that's some of the fun. Some of the enjoyment from gardening is pushing your luck. Just pushing your luck a little bit. Bit of a gamble. Sometimes it works out. It might work out, might be brilliant, they might be wonderful. They might get knocked, they might take a little bit longer to grow. That fruit that's already on that one bird's eye might not survive, it might fall off, we might have to wait a while for another one. Or they might die. We might have catastrophic frosts, they might freeze over, everything might die. I've got a spare plant. There's always the garden centre at a push if I'm absolutely desperate. But like I was saying before, it's part of the fun. It's part of the fun of gardening, experimenting, trying different things, pushing your luck, and you all get to see it from a distance on YouTube. You can see if it works. If it fails, you can copy, you can not copy, you can try things. But let me know in the comments, what have you got out? Have you gambled? I know down south, even though it's lovely and warm here, even warmer down south. I've seen some of the stuff going on down there. So much warmer, especially overnight temperatures than we've got up here at the moment. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments. What are you up to? What have you been putting out? Have you got stuff in your polytunnels, your greenhouses, your tomatoes, your chilies, your peppers? I've still got cucumbers and aubergines to come, and some more sweet peppers and some more chilies. I'm holding off for the cucumbers. The cucumbers, I've got one cucumber that's probably about 3 foot long at the moment, and it is desperate. It is desperate to come out. But even I'm not brave enough to put cucumbers out yet. I'm going to try and hold off for another 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks. We'll see. Anyway, that's me done for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.